What's going on, Sky fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Sky Central. The Sky take on the Los Angeles Sparks today. Can they get back to their winning ways after a two-game slide? We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
Welcome to Chicago Sky Central, and here's your host, Hayes.
What's going on, Sky fans? Man, we got a game today against the 2-4 Los Angeles Sparks. This is a game where the Sky's defense is going to be even more important. And we're got to see if the Sky can kind of get back on track to how they were playing more with their offense and their defense. Their defense took a bit of a slide the last couple of games, but even bigger than that, it's been the Sky's, sloppy offense, the turnovers, things like that. They got to get those things underway. Sky come into this game favored for those that do bet or care about that type of thing. But ultimately, the Sky have to get back to playing the disruptive brand of defense that we know that they can. Second in the league in steals, right? We know that they are one of the best rebounding teams in the league on top of all of that. They're top 5 in the league in blocks. We got to get to that defensive identity if we want to have a chance against this Los Angeles Sparks team. Like I said, this team is 2-4 on the season. Still a very talented team. Having Cameron Brink come in the building is going to be important to watch, a rookie matchup to be able to watch and see this game and how the Sky perform over it. But overall, Derek Hamby, how are the Sky going to take care of Derek Hamby? She's averaging 20 points per game. She's actually leading the Los Angeles Sparks in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. She's leading them in every major category. Cameron Brink is leading them in blocks at 3 per game, so that's going to be an important part to watch as well. Rakia Jackson's averaging 10 points per game for them so far as well. She's only started one game but played in all 6 for the Sparks so far, but this is a team that you cannot overlook despite the record. This is a team that matches up really good against the Chicago Sky, and they're going to have to be locked in if they really want a chance to win this game. And so, trust in the Sky, because we've seen the Sky. We know what the Sky are capable of, right? Nobody really, has too many doubts on what they can do. It's just that the margin of error is really good, small for the Chicago Sky because their offense is so hit and miss, right? We don't have really good three-point shooting. We haven't had the best spacing so far yet either. So you need those things to really go the Sky's way if they're going to have an opportunity to win this game. We're going to need Marina Mabry to be locked in. We're going to need Diamond Shields to be locked in. We're going to need Angel as well and how she's been dictating the game. But Kennedy Carter, don't overlook Kennedy Carter and what she's able to do for this team a lot as well. She's a very important part of this team and the offense. Her ability to push the pace, get to the rim, hit shots in the mid-range, that's going to be really important for this as well. The only person on the injury report other than Camila Cardoso, who we already expect, is Isabel Harrison. She's questionable with her knee. We'll see if she ends up playing, right? But everybody else seems to be full go. Diamond Shields not on the injury report at all. So we're going to need her to be ready to go for this Sky team. And hopefully this is a game where the Sky can use it to really get back in rhythm and get back in the win column because we need it, right? So, I can't wait to see what the Sky can do here. Can they get back to 500? Coach Spoon is going to have these ladies locked in. I truly believe, especially after having the losses that the Sky have had in a row now. This is important. The Sky have lost their first 2 games at home in the Wintrust, despite the Wintrust being sold out. So we need to see these ladies be prepared and come into this game extremely, ready to go. And so we'll end up seeing, man. I have a lot of faith in the Sky team. We've seen the way that this team can compete. We've seen that before. This is a team that has a lot of edge, that has a chip on their shoulder. It's taken on the identity of their coach. But we're going to need the execution part of it. That's where the Sky have really failed at, is the execution aspect of the game. And if they can get back to executing well, things can really change for the Sky team. And so, the last home game before the big game on Saturday, in which they take on the Indiana Fever, a lot of eyes are going to be on that game on ESPN at that. But we need the Sky to be locked in this game. There can be no ifs, ands, or buts. Like I said, the margin for error is very, very small for this team. We need this win. And so we let's hope that the Sky get it. I think ultimately as well, outside of the Marina Mabry, the Diamond Shields as well, our bench production. We got to start getting solid bench production from this team as well. We've had bits and pieces of it. Kennedy is a big part of the bench production for this team. We all know that, right? She's basically our biggest scoring threat off bench, especially until Isabel Harrison gets fully healthy. And we're going to need Kennedy Carter to be locked in. No foul trouble, things like that. But we need other players to step up. Michaela Oniwerde has to be better. And not to say she's been terrible, because she hasn't. Her role has changed, especially depending on players that we've had in and out with injury. So I understand that being an aspect that's kind of been off for Michaela. And I don't want to take that away, but her ability to be that Swiss Army knife off the bench. She doesn't have to score 10 or 12 points. She doesn't have to get 8 or 9 rebounds. She doesn't have to get 2 or 3 steals. But if she can fill up the stat sheet, which is what we know is in the realm of possibility for her, get us 6, 7, 6, 8 points, right? Get us 4 or 5 key rebounds on top of that. Get us a 1 or 2 assists, right? Those type of things are what we need from Michaela Onyenwere, especially as this bench has been kind of fluid right now. We haven't gotten consistent production off our bench. If we can get consistent production on both sides of the ball from Michaela, the scoring and the energy that we get from Kennedy Carter, and from with Isabel Harrison comes in that game, her Brianna Turner. We need these ladies to be locked in, and so let's hope that is something that we get tonight. We need bench production from this team as well. If we can get that, I think it'll go a long way for the Chicago Sky team. But let's go ahead and get into some of the comments we got in here. We got Comfort Sheriff in the building, says we need this win. I have made mouth. I have made mouth. They need to win so I can go home. So you can go home. That's funny. Well, hopefully you get to go home regardless. But yeah, we definitely need this one. This could be a get back on track win, get back to 500. And then, we get Camilla back after this. And so getting Camilla back is going to be really important for this team as well. With her rebounding, her able to run in transition with these young players, it's going to be really big there as well. We need to get this win tonight. And I hope that this guy can, right? I think they've been playing better basketball overall than the Sparks. The Fever are also getting their ass kicked by 11 points right now, too. So I love that. Kevon says, how can I watch the game tonight? Because it's blocked on WNBA League Pass. I'm not even in Chicago. I don't understand it. That's crazy if you're not in Chicago and it's black. Well, are you in Indiana? Where are you at? Steve-O's been saying Stream East is something that he's been able to watch games on. I would also check YouTube TV if you have it. Typically, if games are kind of blocked out on the WNBA League Pass app, if you sign in through League Pass on YouTube TV, that's like a little hack around there. So try to check that out. Let's see. Damani, I believe is how you pronounce that, says, I know y'all said Kaiser isn't good, so why have her on the team as a whole? Well, let's not. Every team has back end of the bench players. That's across every basketball organization, right? So that's why every coach doesn't go fully down on their bench. She's there because she can provide like some defense and things like that. But ultimately, let's be clear here. Kaiser would not have been on this team if Brenna Maxwell did not get hurt. And so ultimately, she's a body right now. And I don't mean that to sound derogatory or anything like that, but she is a body right now. And that's kind of where we are right now with this. So we it is what it is. I mean, yeah, I would like to see her, especially when the Sky are struggling to get in the game. But Kaiser, she's just not good. I mean, she's undersized. It kind of works with that. And, should the Sky maybe look for a player maybe out in, that's one thing that James Wade would have done for the new Sky fans. James Wade was our former coach and GM. He was really tapped in with women who play over in Europe. I guarantee you, if James Wade was still at least the GM of this team, Kaiser probably wouldn't be here. We'd have a shooter from over in Europe coming to this team. But, that's woulda, coulda, shoulda. That's what this team's makeup is. Hopefully, Brenna gets back healthy sooner rather than later, because she can really help this team with a lot of that shooting as well. So, there you go on that one. Dre says Amazon Prime will show it. Okay, so if it's on Amazon Prime, that's an easier way to watch as well. Thank you for that, Dre, for pointing that out. Trayvon says, yo, I love your guys' coverage. Thank you, man. Like, we've been here. This is our 3rd season around. So we're not one of the new Sky podcasts. We've been around for a while. And it's nothing but pure love of the WNBA game and the women's game overall. Steve-O, he's not here today. He had some personal things to take care of. He's one of the best minds you'll find about women's basketball. He down to college, everything. When the offseason happens for the WNBA, we've always kind of gone dormant during the offseason. But if you guys are interested, we can do some women's college coverage as well, like during the offseason when the WNBA isn't in season. So let us know that. We've said that this channel, we want that to be reflective of what the fans need and want. So we're open to doing that. And Steve-O is a great mind. He follows the women's game in and out. He'll be really good for that one. Let's see what else we got. Why are these effing games so hard to watch? It's like the league wants to be elusive. You have to subscribe to multiple apps. Listen. And I don't say this to be like elitist or anything. I'm kind of used to it because honestly, I've been a WNBA fan for probably almost a decade at this point, and it's always been like this. Even before apps, it was like, oh, it's on Ion. Oh, you remember when they had that failed time when they were airing games on Lifetime? Like, I never watched Lifetime a day in my life other than to watch WNBA basketball. So like, it's just something that comes with the league. They're renegotiating the CBA at the end of the season, and I really hope that the TV contracts get a lot better for the WNBA over this time. I had floated something around. So we know that the NBA next season is the last year of the NBA on TNT. I hope that maybe the WNBA is like, hey, TNT, I know we're not the NBA, but you guys want basketball coverage, we can go there. I don't know, because the WNBA has to figure something out. You should not have to jump through hoops to try to support a league. That's not what you should do. If you want to support it, it should be easy to support it. And so hopefully that's something that the WNBA can get underway and in gear, because it is one of the biggest things holding the WNBA, I feel, from growing, is that, people sometimes just get tired of it. Like, if you want to support a team and probably after a month of trying to watch games and you're like, I got to go to my 5th app in the last month, some people just really do give up, and I can't knock them for it. Like, it shouldn't be this hard to try to support something. And hopefully this is something that the WNBA really, really looks at. They have to get their streaming rights back. I think if the WNBA can at least get the streaming rights to where every game, regardless if it's aired, other than like if it's aired on ESPN or something like that, if they can get that on their app, that's going to go a long way as well. They need to start making some deals with some of these other networks that have the broadcast rights as well. So hopefully that's something that the WNBA is looking into, because it's really, really, really difficult to support the W when you're trying to find games, and it's just difficult to find. It sucks, to be 100% honest with you. Covering college games will be very good. Yeah, Comfort, thank you for that. I think that's something, like I said, I got to talk to Steve-O. I don't want to put anything on Steve-O that he can't do and manage. He's way more in tune with women's college. I watch women's college basketball faithfully, but I also have Chicago Bulls Central. I do Chicago Bears Central. So it'll be a lot to kind of throw on there. But we'll figure something out. The last thing that I want is, like, the last couple of off seasons, we've gone basically, like I said, completely radio silent, because the WNBA just isn't one of those leagues to where in the off season there's a whole lot of speculation. Like, the WNBA off season is really condensed when you look at it compared to other leagues, right? Our free agency windows open, and then within that first week, you know where everybody's going, because there's not a lot of teams, there's not a lot of spots. So you know where everybody's going. A week after that is the WNBA draft. 2 weeks after that, the preseason starts. So it's a really condensed time period. So that's why we go kind of quiet, but we'll figure out what we need to do at that point. So agree. If they want to the support, the games need to be visible. Facts, Cheryl. I 100% agree with you. Like, it's hard. It's already difficult to get an adoption rate for the WNBA. It's been difficult over the 30 years that the WNBA has been a thing. And so when you add another layer on that to, hey, I want to support, but I can't find it, it really does suck. It really does suck. LSU will cover LSU. We'll see. I think they're doing something with playback TV as we speak. So I do have a playback TV for the Bulls and well, not the Bears, because they don't do NFL. And so, yeah, I've gotten that communication from playback that they are very close to having something locked in with the WNBA. And if that happens, it'll be a lot easier to watch. So let's hope that they can get something with playback TV. Playback has become a really great resource as well over the year and a half, 2 years that it's really kind of popped on the scene. I love what playback's been doing as far as like adding a different layer for content creators and for people who want to watch sports. So got to give a lot of love to playback and what they've been able to do over there. So, but yeah, overall, to get back to the game, defense. We know that's where the Sky have to hang their hat on, and they're going to have to do that against this team. You got to watch out for Cameron Brink as well. While Cameron hasn't really had a bunch of scoring for the Sparks, it's not really her role as of yet. Defensively, Cameron Brink is a dog, right? And her timing on those blocks, I can't wait to see, like, if we get some matchups between her and Angel in a game like this. But Cameron's playing really good, man. Leading the league, I think, in blocks. I think she's leading the league in blocks per game. But even when you look at her raw stats, 9.5 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, 2 assists, still and a half per game, 3 blocks. Like, yeah, those aren't the stats you look at and you're like, oh my God, it's crazy. But she's still balling. And Rakia, 10 points per game as well, too. Like, you got to watch out for these ladies for sure. So, and hopefully the Sky are ready and prepared for it defensively, because we know what this team can be defensively. We've seen it. And it's great. It's beautiful basketball to watch when the Sky are in that rhythm defensively, and it makes our offense easier, right? One thing that because the Sky team does like to get out and run, when we play sound defensively, when we're stopping teams from getting buckets, when we're getting block shots, when we're getting those defensive rebounds, or, the Sky are second in the league in steals per game, we get out and run. And when we get out and run, we get creative. So that's something that this team needs to try to do really solidly as well in a game like this against the Sparks. You do not want to let the Sparks defense set in. If you can attack the Sparks defense before it has a chance to set up, it's going to really go well for the Chicago Sky in a game like this. So we got to have it going. We got to keep our heads about ourselves, and we cannot allow ourselves to get frustrated in this game. So many times over the last 2 games have the Sky allowed either the officiating, either tough plays, whatever, to get in their head. You cannot allow that in a game like this. You got to keep your composure. You got to play well. You got to go through your offense, and you got to make routine. You cannot get out of yourself. Play well, focus, and let's see the Sky team get a dub, y'all. But that's what I appreciate and hope this team can do, man. I appreciate you guys for showing up and supporting the channel like we do. We're about 8 minutes away from game time, so I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I'll be back at post-game show at least. Maybe we'll do a halftime hangout. I'm solo all today, so we'll see about doing a halftime hangout. But I love you guys. Let's get this dub, Sky, and I'll see you guys after the game at the very least.